Ladies and gentlemen, folks everywhere, welcome back to another exciting episode of Fight for Truth or Die for a Lie News Network. Before I get started, I want to give all praise to the Most High. The topic of the day is, I can feel it in the air. What's in the air? COVID. I personally believe that they're spraying us with COVID in the air from airplanes that leave the chemtrails. I believe they're now putting COVID in the airplanes, the jets that spray the chemtrails because of the increase of COVID cases. We have 72.2 million cases reported in this nation alone. It's a lot of cases for this disease that is plaguing our country. Not only the country, the world, Craig. It's plaguing the whole world. But I only can speak for where I'm at, which is the United States. And it's a lot of cases here. And I believe that for all of these increases in cases, it gotta be a bigger reason for it. And what's a way of them infecting us all? By spraying something in the air that slowly trickles down to us. Then we breathe it in. And, therefore you have COVID because it was sprayed on us. For a lot of folk that have strong immune systems, they can't even understand how they ever caught COVID. They took all of the precautions necessary. For some, they just have strong immune systems and live by remedies, home remedies. And for other folk, they have the vaccination. And I believe that I was told that if you get the vaccination, you don't have to worry about the COVID. But that was proven to be a lie. Even though this so-called quote-unquote vaccination is supposed to stop COVID of any form. But instead of it stopping the disease, the government is urging us to either take another vaccination shot or a booster shot. People scanning your foreheads. I personally believe that this is the beginning of the end, because this COVID situation is threatening our way of life. It's threatening our jobs. It's threatening our schools for our kids to learn. It's threatening our health. Like for some folk, they are on a transplant list. And the only way you can benefit from being on the transplant list is you must receive a vaccination or a devaccination. You must be vaccinated for them to even consider treating you. And what does this sound like? This sounds like a chapter in the Bible, Revelation, where it spoke of a time where us as humans, we're going to be subject to certain kind of, I would say, scrutiny, because they're slowly making it where either we have to have this vaccination or we can't work, go to school, or even be treated for our health problems. And pretty soon they're going to stretch it to You can't even buy from our stores because we can't trust you. You might have the COVID, you know, even though we know COVID can be beat with home remedies. But they're telling us that in order for us to live in their society, we must be vaccinated. It sounds like the mark of the beast. Just being honest, not trying to scare you, only trying to warn you that this new world order is here and it's not going anywhere. This is the birth pains before the actual child comes. And what's the child, you say? The Antichrist. Before he comes, a lot of us have to be killed off because a lot of us is not going for it. And by us, I mean these spiritual, awakened folks. We can see it a mile away. I mean, they're telling us we can't work. I mean, what? I mean, that don't even make sense. And like I said, they're spraying it in the air, so the whole population is affected by it. It's like, no matter what we do, I believe they're doing this to thin out the herd. It's too many of us eating up all the resources. You know, as far as like the EBTs, the free housing. Well, I'm not going to say free housing. The housing assistance. It's a lot of people that's living off the government's titty. And the government is tired of it. Matter of fact, they only want a select group of people to be here for their new world. It's like people like myself is not welcome because I could see it. Not only I could see it, I'm going to speak out against it and just trying to say something to just wake up my folk, to let them know that this new world order is here and they're coming after us, but they really want our kids because our kids are going to have to live through this. It's like when I came into the truth years ago, I thought that the world was going to end 2 months later. You know, just seeing what I was seeing and having my mind totally blown by everything that I'm seeing, like uncovering all the lies. So I thought the world was going to end shortly after. But little do I know, and through research, I figured out that they like to do everything in timing. They're very patient about their goals. They're very patient. It's like they might set out to kill someone. If that person is not immediately threatening their agenda, they'll let that person live for another 2 to 5 years before they kill them. And it's the same way with us. It's like they told us about this COVID, and now, well, I'm not going to say now, they told us about it, in the same breath, they had a remedy for it. That would made me just question everything about it. It's like, I heard about the COVID, and like 30 days later, I would say they had a vaccination for it. But I come from a time where diseases is nothing new. It been so many diseases that folk have forgot about, you know, as far as like the Ebola, AIDS. I mean, it's so many other diseases out here, but it's like when they came up with that one, they immediately had a remedy for it. It's like, okay, we have this big problem, but I have a remedy for it. So if you will follow me, down here to get jabbed. And a lot of folks went for it, didn't even question it, or they didn't want to stop their way of life, because now this COVID is threatening our life, our way of life, from our jobs to our education. And if it threatens our jobs, that means, well, I don't know what it means because the future is not here yet, but I can say that a lot of folk will take whatever the government is offering just so they can keep their way of life. I mean, it's sad, but it's true. And for those who are still working these jobs, my prayers are with you, because you facing COVID every day that you show up for work. Because it might be other people that's working with COVID and they might not can afford to take any time off. You know what I'm saying? Because just because you're sick, that don't mean the bills is going to stop. That don't mean life stops because you're slowing down with the COVID running through your body. It only means that some folks will return to work prematurely, and that's another way how I believe that this disease is spreading so fast, because folks don't want to take the L. And I can't blame them, because it was like when they first told us about it, they had all of the remedies, and they had care packages ready, as far as the EBTs, and just giving out stimulus packages for those that's affected by it. But let's be real, the whole entire world is affected by this plandemic. Let me say that clearly. This plandemic. It's all planned, ladies and gentlemen. But not all things go as planned. It's like I said earlier, they're very patient, even though they're trying to achieve their goal. And they know they will achieve it because they run everything. It's like they have to get our consent through the majority. And the majority is going to give it to them because of all this sickness that's in this nation. It's going to be the voices of the sick that's going to, I believe, shut this country down again. But that's just my opinion, because they are already doing small shutdowns, as far as over the weekends. For some jobs, they might shut it down for the weekend just to have a company to come in and, spray the place down with Lysol and whatever chemicals they have to fight this. But until the next time, like always, we're going to continue to fight for the truth or die for a lie. May the Most High continue to watch over you and your entire family. Peace and blessings to you and your entire family. Until the next time, peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, please tone it down a bit. There's an announcement I like to read now. Wait, how am I supposed to pronounce this?